Hi everybody, this is Dane Hansen at Jungie Lincoln Volvo Mazda. We're calling it Drive-In with Dane now, but wanted to do a quick video on the Lincoln Nautilus here. This is a 2025 Premier 2. I was going through my video catalog and realized I hadn't done a full review on this car yet. So wanted to do that as well. This one, like I mentioned, is a 2025 Premier 2. No real substantial changes between 24 and 25, a couple colors and things like that. First of all, these wheels, I believe, are a little bit different, which I think they look super cool. Definitely something a little bit different from the mainstream. It's a little chilly out here, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet on the outside, and we'll hop to the inside, which is the exciting part of this car. So start with the trunk area. Massive cargo area. Probably it's at least as big, definitely a little bit bigger, I think, than the XC60 Volvos I've got. Not quite as big as the CX70 Mazdas, but you can see I'm 5'10", and I can just barely stretch and touch that. And then you can lay these seats powered down back here. And then you have tire inflator kit underneath here. This is a hybrid, so the battery takes up a little bit of room. Tons of room back there. You can open and close from here or off the key fob. Pretty easy. And then, of course, the door handles are built into, I think this is called the belt line, which looks really cool. They actually borrowed that idea from the Lincoln Continental, which they used to use. And then something else you'll notice is this little square here. So let's say your car battery dies or your fob battery dies, can't get in the car. You actually push this button, the little key pops out, press this open, put the key in there, twist, and then this door will pop open slightly so you can get in the car. But because our car isn't dead, we're going to go ahead and just climb on in. Now, the first thing you may not notice, or you may notice, is say it's a little quiet, or it's a little bit harder to tell on camera, but the noise insulation in the Nautilus is really good. There's a bunch of construction going on over there. You can see that crane. So you can always kind of hear that in the background, and you climb in the Nautilus, and it is dead quiet. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and take my glove off here, and we'll show a couple of features and functions. So you'll notice everything comes up, starts to load. You can see this has been the big news with the new Nautilus, is of course this 48-inch display up here, which is super cool and I think super well executed. It's so easy for cars to just look like they have a giant iPad stapled in the middle of them, or taped in, and then or, you know, just to have so much technology and screen that everything, it becomes overwhelming, especially if you're not used to this. This is a really well done execution. I wish it came through a little bit better on camera. Oh. Also, speaking of cool things in this car, that crystal volume knob is super cool, easy to find, very easy to mess with. So when you're, you know, trying to listen to your directions or something, you can very easily find that. And then, of course, you have your center console here. You've got your wireless charge pad, which is at a good angle. It kind of keeps your phone out of your way, so it's not always in your line of sight. But, you know, you can still glance down and see it if you need to, and you don't have cords running everywhere, which is nice. And then, of course, you can slide your cover over it if you need to. Cup holders are nice and easy. Little storage spot here. Plugins are very accessible, easy to get to. Center console pops up, easy to do. And then this one does have the Lincoln Digital Scent, so you can get the little cartridges. I think they're actually in that glove box. Snap in there and they have different aromas through the car, which is pretty cool. Good sized glove box as well, and very normal feeling. Everything's nice and textured, or nicely material, that kind of thing. I'm going to turn my heated seat up all the way. Oops. I really like the clicks and everything. Everything's pretty responsive. Go ahead and allow these couple of things so everything comes up. But kind of walk through what we're looking at in here. I'm going to take my other glove off as well. So you get in the car, and first thing you'll notice is, of course, the giant display, which we already kind of talked about a little bit. We're just going to start on this door panel and move left to right. So lock or unlock, lock, and then seat memory, which is really easy. So basically you get your seat set where you want, press until you hear the beep, and then you're set. They did do this nice, cool little like metal finish on the buttons over here, which also I think just adds to the classiness and kind of the luxury feel of this car. Same thing with this kind of little door handle down in here. I think that looks pretty cool. So you have your mirror adjuster, so right mirror, left mirror, and then, or excuse me, left mirror, right mirror. This is to fold, And then this one is like your child locks when my camera decides to focus. The one with a little light on right now. So we're actually going to press that and turn the child locks off. Headlight controls are down here. So you can see they're in auto. That's where I would leave them 99% of the time. Because this is a hybrid, you do actually have a button. You press that and that'll unlock the fuel door. One important thing to know. And then, of course, you can see the trunk release right above that. And then dim or brighten the dash. All pretty easy. Parking brakes down here. It is electronic, so pull to put on, foot on the brake, push to turn off. And then your hood release is down there. One thing about the hood release is it is a double pull to release. So there's no actual latch underneath the hood. So, you normally you pull that once and then you go fish around under the hood and lift it up. This one, pull it, let it go all the way back, pull it again, and then just walk out there and lift up on the hood. Actually, super easy. Big fan of that from Lincoln. I think that's a really smart idea, and they've been doing that for a minute. Moving from the door panel and kind of down the footwell area, we'll move to the steering wheel. So you do have this little black bar here. This is actually the head and eye position monitor for Blue Cruise. Blue Cruise is Ford's and Lincoln's self-driving technology on pre-mapped parts of the interstate. So for example, actually we can look on my map over here and you can see I've got Interstate 380 that runs right there, which is a pre-mapped route. So when you turn your cruise control on 380, you'll get some symbols up here that'll be blue, and it'll kind of show that you can take your hands off the wheel, which is pretty cool. This is one of the sensors that lets that system work. So notice there, this side is your blinker, so very normal, satisfying click. Pretty easy to along with, pull back for brights or push forward for brights. Of course, it's not doing it right now, or it won't stay on right now because our auto headlights aren't on. And then on the right side, you've got your windshield wiper controls. So 1, 2, 3, and then you fine tune with this little switch here. And then this little switch over here runs your rear wiper. Pretty easy there. Pull and push for washer fluid on front and rear respectively. Now, the steering wheel itself, you'll notice there's some little what am I trying to say? Little kind of indents there, and then you can see they kind of light up and you can see where the cruise is. So a really cool way Lincoln integrated this with the steering wheel is you can see I'm going to rest my thumb here, and I'm going to come up here to the screen, and then I'm going to slide my thumb to the cruise control button or down here to the lane keep, and you can actually see there's a little box. It's a little bit tricky to come across on camera, but you can see there's a little box that's showing where my finger is at. Very cool. So you can just rest your finger there. And then, of course, you're still looking at the road instead of looking all the way down here, which I appreciate. And then you press to turn on, which of course right now won't do much because I'm not driving anywhere. Same thing goes with the right side. So I rest my thumb, and then you can see, get up a little closer, volume up, volume down, play, pause, and then voice command over here in the bottom left. Super cool, super intuitive. Really some good, smart technology application by Lincoln. I think that was really cool. And I think that the fact that those menus go away after a minute cleans up the visuals here a lot. Moving a little bit further over, we now have the center display. So this will be mostly familiar to anyone with a normal Lincoln or with another Lincoln fairly recently, but a couple of things. Of course, you have your home. This is your home screen. You can customize this a little bit, but you can see the radio's off, and I don't have a phone paired right now. Next one down you have is vehicle. So you can change drive modes in here. This is where you control your digital scent. The ambient lighting is really cool. It's kind of hard to show during the day, but you can see there's actually a little bit right here, so you can really tweak that as you'd like. We'll just show that. So the last customer that was in here put it on magenta. I'm a blue guy myself, so you see I switched that, and you can see the ambient lighting change. Kind of a cool little customization for the car. And then you can get in here into your settings, and this is your clock and your lock preferences, all those kinds of things. Pair your Bluetooth in here. Lots of stuff to go through, which we could spend a little bit more time on. I did do a video on the Lincoln Aviator about how to get the door pad key code, and it actually is basically the same in this. Just heard the engine kick off. I say that is because this is the hybrid. The hybrid's also a very cool part. Very unintrusive, works very well. Just gets you a little bit better fuel economy. But you can see this one does have the Rebel audio system, which is super good. If you ever have a chance to get in one of these cars, play the, go to the Play Revel experience, crank this up, and be impressed. It's a super good sound system, especially the bass. Bluetooth is nice and easy. You can adjust all your cruise controls here. So if you don't like adaptive cruise control, for example, set it to normal. You know, you can tweak all of these things as needed. And then you can set, you know, how long the car will idle. If you like the wipers to do a courtesy wipe after you turn them off. And then you can set the mirrors to auto fold. Bunch of things like that. Mostly just helpful to get in here and play around with it. System, this is your units, your time. You can do the Lincoln profiles. So basically you go in here, create a profile, and then you can connect a key, and when you it'll save your navigation preferences, your radio presets, that kind of thing. Display, you can turn the beeps on and off. You can change the theme, which is kind of fun. So let's say I want Inspire. So you'll notice up here on this display, changes the background. Very cool, very subtle. But big fan of that. And then network and internet, voice assist. A lot of these are permissions and things like that. Not something you have to do all the time. Over here, push this button. So this is how you customize that display. So for example, I've got the clock there in the middle. Let's say I want to see my fuel economy instead. So I pull clock down here. You'll notice it goes way up there. And I press and hold on fuel economy, drag it up. And there it is. Super easy to use. And really, the way that Lincoln set this up is what's in front of you is what you need all the time. So fuel, speed, driver assist functions, stuff you use some of the time, like your map is there in the middle. And then the things that are just nice to have, such as the weather, the fuel economy, that's all off to the right. And then you can customize that as you see fit. Super easy, and I think a really good way to integrate this, go back to the home menu. You do have climate controls. So this one is kind of cool. You can adjust the vents here. So these vents here, you can't actually move by hand. You move them through here. So you can move it by hand, or you can come up here and go to something like motion, and you'll watch these vents will actually move, which I think is super cool. Gives you some oscillation. Kind of fun. But you can also use the presets and then change your airflow over here. This little double chain just shows that the driver and passenger side temperatures are synced. And then, as you saw earlier, we have heated steering wheel, ventilated seats, which wouldn't be great on a day like today, and heated seats, which I am really appreciating right now. Auto, the 1, 2, and 3 underneath there just limits the speed, basically, of the fan. And then you can, of course, control your temperature with the arrows, or you can... Yep, with the arrows, just like so. Pretty easy, I would say. And then fan speed right there as well. All fairly normal, nothing crazy in there. So I just turned the auto hold off. Auto hold's where it comes to when you come to a full stop, it holds the brake until you touch the gas pedal. So if the light's on, it's on. If not, it's not. Hazards. And then this is the self-park assist. I have not tried this in the Nautilus. I've used it in older Lincolns, and it does work, but it's pretty scary, and it's usually way easier just to park yourself, truthfully. Over here is your max defrost, camera. So the camera actually comes up there, and you can see, if I press the button, it goes away again. When you go into reverse, it automatically changes. But good high-resolution camera, a little bit tricky to see on tricky to see in my recording. It's just the nature of the beast when you try and record another screen. Press that, turn it off. And then we have drive modes down here. So I press that, these come up, and then I can swipe on here. So you can see they give you a little blurb about what each one does. For most people, most of the time, you'll be either in slippery or in normal. So like today, for example, it's a little bit slick out in our lot in between our cars. You can see where we've got some ice. But for most part, the roads are dry, so you could leave it in normal. But, you know, if let's say it's fresh after a snowstorm, or, you know, it's a little slushy out, that kind of thing, go ahead and put it in slippery. The car will just manage its traction a little bit better, manage your throttle response down here a little bit better, and be a little bit more controlled. And then we already talked about the volume knob, so right, left, for up and down. Pretty easy to get along with. We talked about the center console here. Glove box is tucked back in here, and there we go. You can see, pretty nice. Everything's like kind of felt lined. That little white box in there is your digital scent. Not something you're gonna have to spend a ton of time in there, hopefully, but pretty easy to get along with. I say, of course, there's a lot going on in this car, but it's actually not that intimidating once you've spent a second with it. I do kind of like this squared off steering wheel as well. You get used to it really quickly. You can turn and make maneuvers a little easier, and they use it in the new C8 Corvette, so I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, we keep the normal Lincoln piano keys for shifting, so very easy. These are satisfying, and you can definitely get good feedback when you push them. Big fan of that as well. I'm going to hop in the back seat briefly. Oop, almost dropped our key. Speaking of which, the Lincoln key will be very familiar to any of you with a newer Ford or Lincoln product. Looks the exact same. The Lincoln ones are a tiny bit shinier. Double tap for remote start, lock, unlock, open the trunk, and panic. I will say this does come with the Lincoln Way app, which is free forever. One of my favorite things about it. But that gives you lock, unlock, and remote start from pretty much anywhere as long as you have cell signal off your phone. You also earn points like a credit card. So every time you pay for anything at a Ford or Lincoln dealer, you earn points. Points convert to dollars, and you can use them towards service, towards accessories like floor mats if you want. Really cool setup. So we're going to go ahead and turn the car off and hop to the back seat. There we go. Hop to the back seat here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of wishing I'd left the car on, because then I could have had my heated back seats. But once again, I'm 5'10", sitting behind myself, and you can see I have a ton of room. Another very smart thing Lincoln did, charge ports are right here in the back of the seat. So you only need a real short cord, and they're right in front of you. You know, there's no mess here getting tangled up. Super smart idea on both sides. Really like that. You do have your little pull-down cup holder here, which, oh, hang on here. A little pull down center console, which you can press the button and flip this up here. Kind of have both, which is pretty cool. Fold that back up like so. And then, of course, not too much else going on here. Do have the giant sunroof, but overall, pretty cool. Let me know if videos like this are helpful. What else you want to see with the Nautilus, and keep driving with Dane. Thank you guys for your time.